Thanks. Oh, you got a sub?
I got what?
Sub.
Yeah. When I was with her, because they were on sale. It's the boar's head. You can get a foot long for $7.99. Normally the boar's head is almost $10.
Can I make the talk with you later now?
Possibly.
What kind of TikTok?
But then makeup.
Makeup?
What's gonna be better this time? Wait, because we're gonna have a voice filter makeup I need to.
A voice filter? Oh, like we used to do on Snapchat ones?
No,
But we used to do voice filters on Snapchat.
I'll play it. It sounds good.
Huh? No, I'm about to eat and he's recording. I'm not coming over there. Yeah, he already hit start. After I'm done, I'm already sitting down and eating, Buggy. I'm not getting up. Yeah? Hand me Dad's bottle of water. Well, he's getting that, so I'll take this. I knew you were going to still make cucumber. But not the whole thing, because that's mine.
Oh.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ranch face.
Wait, I forgot how to do it. Let's do. Like, let's see.
Okay, let me eat. Go, Buggy.
Where is it?
This is gonna take me forever to eat because I have jalapenos, banana peppers, onions, spinach, cucumber, black olives, pickles, green bell peppers. Okay, go.
So I'm not sure if we should start this off with the big mistake that was made, or if we should save that for the end. Actually, several mistakes were made. We'll save it for the end.
Okay.
And we'll jump right into hiding money.
Okay.
We're going to jump into hiding money and potentially doing that. It's funny we mentioned money because you brought up something to me earlier today about this new law, that federal law that requires businesses to accept cash. So I was of the opinion that if the businesses don't want to accept the cash, then they have to find a way around it. Now, what were your thoughts on ways to circumvent that and not break the law?
Not ever have enough change for anything. To require that no bills are bigger than $5 bills. To require that you have exact change. Things like that. Because remember, during that whole coin shortage, it was either you pay with exact change or be willing not to get change back. So overpay. So these businesses were making money off of people because they couldn't give them their change back.
It's like the whole roundup deal. But instead of having to give it to a charitable organization, they just keep it. But big companies like Walmart, which Amazon would never have that problem. But big companies like Walmart, their accounting actually wouldn't let them keep that money because they won't be able to reconcile their statements. So, I mean, granted, they could keep it, but they could never realize it.
That may be why so many companies now are asking, do you want to round up for charity? So they don't have to give you change back, but then they use that as charity donations.
They're their own charity. You donate to our business for charity.
It's very hard to eat a sub ladylike.
Are you eating it manly like?
I don't know, but it's not ladylike. I know that much.
Somebody sent an email and they said, I got this from my buddy in real estate. Thanks, Judy, for sending the email. And it says, kinda, a huge recession is coming, and I just want to make sure I have a secure job when it hits. Thank you for all your help. Looks like she copied Autumn's backyard garden as well. Mm-hmm. And then it says he's now getting into government job because of stability. Might be a good idea to get out of retail jobs. They're going to do mass layoffs soon. So, before I completely lose focus, my thought would be, if there's a federal law that requires a business to have to accept cash, then the business would just not accept cash. It would be just that easy, just that simple. Now, granted, that would be illegal under the law, but
How many businesses follow the law to the T?
you can't accept cash online. You can't accept cash through an app. How many businesses want you to purchase through their app now? Purchase through their website?
A ton. How many, when we went out to eat over the weekend with G.I. Justin and his daughter, they bring us the bill and it's got that QR code. Scan, pay here.
Huey McGooey's?
Same thing.
Pay with an app? Or we accept cash, but unfortunately all the machines that accept cash are broken. Sorry. Hashtag not sorry.
Loopholes.
But a huge recession is coming. But
I need jalapeno again.
let's talk about this. If we weren't in a recession, wouldn't you still want a secure job?
Oh, yeah. You'd want a secure recession-proof job if possible.
I think the possible risk of a recession, depression, is causing additional fear and panic on many. But at the end of the day, the same rules apply. This one just has a different label.
It occurs to me that my Doritos may be really crunchy in the microphone.
Only
My bad.
because they're nacho cheese. The Cool Ranch aren't as crunchy.
Weirdly.
I just made that up. There's really no scientific proof behind anything that I just said. We could do a crunch test.
Crunch test.
So, getting out of real estate and getting into government job because of stability.
I mean, the government still lays people off. People got laid off at the CDC over the pandemic.
Might be a good idea to get out of retail jobs. They're going to start mass layoffs soon. I wouldn't consider real estate retail, although it does involve transactions. Whereas government jobs don't necessarily always involve transactions. But I don't like government jobs because of their ridiculously woke and extreme left box checking requirements that have nothing to do with skill, merit, or anything besides who do you identify as today?
What do you identify as today? We'll say who and what. Some people identify as cats these days. It's so weird.
Maybe we'll. Oh man, I don't like to quote movie quotes wrong.
No, you don't.
But I gotta. Since you said that, some people identify as cats. I had to quote this one where it says, "I will see you in another life when we are both cats."
What is that from?
Vanilla Sky.
Oh yeah, Tom Cruise and Penelope
Penelope.
Cruz. And her last name Cruz also?
Cruz. I've never thought about that.
Both Cruz. Oh, wasn't Cameron Diaz in that one too, or that's a different one?
Oh yeah.
She was in that one too, also, right? Okay. And then she was in that Night and Day one with him. I like that one.
Interesting movie, Vanilla Sky. Mm-hmm. Where she really didn't know when he was awake or when he was dreaming or when he was dead.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember it. I know I've seen it, but I don't remember it.
Is that the world we're living in today?
Feels like it sometimes.
However, every industry is going to be different. So, I know a lot of people in real estate that are very happy right now. Mm-hmm. Very pleased with their career, their income, mm-hmm. and the security of it. And honestly, when it comes to real estate, your limitation would only really lie within your brokerage and or license state. Mm-hmm. Because you have to make it happen. Mm-hmm. For the most part. The loans have to be funded, the people have to close, yada, yada, yada. But the transactions are going to occur. And the key would be, hey,
Leave it.
for you to get the listing, mm-hmm. to get the contract. Mm-hmm. Whereas, inversely, for instance, YouTube content creation, when the algorithm just wants to change, it just wants to change. Mm-hmm. There's not necessarily any proven metric. Whereas with real estate, I'm gonna make phone calls, I'm gonna send flyers, I'm gonna send emails, I'm going to meet as many people as I can, I'm gonna connect with old clients, I'm going to utilize my sphere, and you can make something happen. Mm-hmm. I may shift the price mm-hmm. point for which I'm going to engage in, whether shifting up or shifting down. In certain states, even having the ability to earn commissions on apartment locating. Mm-hmm. But the government jobs and their ridiculous woke policies.
And the you must do this in order to keep your job things.
Oh, yeah. Let a new mandate roll out. Mm-hmm. And you don't want to get an injection. Talk about secure.
Mm-hmm. You're the first ones to go.
More ways than not. More ways than one, really. Hey, we got this experimental drug. Step right up. I believe it was Candace Owens, and she was talking with Tucker Carlson, and one of them said that, or maybe it was Byron Donalds on Hannity, but the Republican Party, the Conservative Party, has become the party for the working class, mm-hmm. and the Democratic Party, the left, has become the party for the coastal elites.
Okay. And at one point in time, wasn't it the other way around?
I think they would want you to believe that. Mm-hmm. But I'll point out, like I did in a different video, is that the Democrats are destroying the country, generally speaking, promoting crazy woke policies that don't hold people accountable, while dangling the carrot of free money and government handouts and welfare.
Okay.
Why? Because the same people who would be interested in that will vote for that. Oh, you mean I can go out, be a criminal, vandalize, destroy property, harm people, not go to jail? Oh, and you're going to try to take guns away from the people, the innocent people who could potentially stop us, and give us free money?
Oh, yeah.
Sign me up. Oh, wait, you can't do any of that? It's too late. I already voted for you.
Or you can, but you won't do any of that.
But when we're really talking about hiding money, I got off on a tangent. It's about the system. And I think people may consider hiding and protecting synonymous, especially with the CBDC rollout, FedNow program. We've got the IMF launching its CBDC. Breaking news, the IMF just launched a central bank digital currency called UMU, or Universal Monetary Unit. During their recent IMF spring meeting, the DCMA unveiled this new digital currency.
IMF is the thing for Mission Impossible, right?
That's the Impossible Mission Force.
Yeah, IMF. Again, this is an impossible mission force.
This
CBDC.
This is actually the International Monetary Fund.
I like my way better. They should have picked a different name.
And they say they are trying to improve on the current system, which is expensive and slow, by attaching central banks' SWIFT codes to this CBDC. They can be more efficient and instant. But the question is this all worth it? Or is this just the powers that be tightening control at an international scale?
What do you mean they're all working together?
So what are you going to do? You're going to hide your money. Or at least try. Maybe buy XRP. Maybe buy Ripple Labs, crypto, Bitcoin, BTC.
Here's the question. How's that hidden?
Hidden from the central bank, from the government.
So then you wouldn't consider real estate as a way to hide your money.
That would be a way of protecting my money.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Because at this point in time, the banks are not coming for real estate.
Okay.
The central bank's not coming for real estate. The Fed's not coming for real estate. Congress isn't coming for real estate. But Amazon is. And you didn't watch the video I put up yesterday. But Amazon, much like the email read, retail is going to start laying off. No shock there, no surprise there. But Amazon and Walmart, Target, these big retail giants, these China wholesalers, basically Chinese product wholesalers, some of these car manufacturers, you got to think Tesla will probably top the list, with Elon Musk being very vocal about his investment choices. GM, Ford. which Jeep, Ram, Chrysler is actually having a tough time selling vehicles, selling trucks. Par for the course. But Amazon has announced that they are looking to lay off workers, shut down fulfillment centers, close down some of their Amazon little stores, which never took cash to begin with. So they didn't have that issue, as I was talking about earlier. And investing in real estate. Similar to a BlackRock business model. Buying up distressed real estate, pennies on the dollar, to own in perpetuity, to then rent out.
That's interesting. So I talked about in my video today on Squirrel Trap, I talked about how people need to pay attention to the laws that are being submitted and approved in their states, because I found some stuff in Ohio that was introduced right after the Norfolk Southern train derailment that it's like, really? And a lot of it has to do with real estate and things like that. And easily Amazon or anybody could come in there and scoop this stuff up for pennies on the dollar.
Well, what they try to do, I had a video I put up last week about Ohio getting hit hard. And they'll try to slide these amendments in, these add-ons into the bill last minute.
Yep.
500-page bill. Revision number 4. Oh, add this.
On page.
Is everybody going to read? Is everybody going to read it again?
347, paragraph 4, line 3. I read them all this morning. I went through all of them.
No. Once it's going through, and they're like, all right, last one. Is everybody going to read it again?
To find it, probably not.
Who put this in here? You said you were going to add this. Well, yeah, I mean, we added that, then we added something else. So Amazon isn't the only one, but they're looking to buy up this real estate, invest in REITs, real estate investment trusts, and own this property, this land, real estate, homes, houses, townhomes, but more importantly, corporate real estate, commercial real estate, office buildings. Again, another video I put up explaining how Wells Fargo has more than doubled their reserves to account for the potential default on commercial mortgages, corporate mortgages, office loans.
Yeah, they'll immediately foreclose on a regular person who misses. Do you think they have extra set aside to help the little man?
No, it's not. No, it's not set aside to help. It's set aside to protect themselves because they know that they're going to take on that loss.
Okay.
So if they're making all this money, they don't want to pay out all this money, then take a loss and then be in a hole.
Okay.
So they set aside. I think I'm going to get hit with this bill, this big bill for all these bad debt mortgages from corporations and businesses that are going under. So we'll just set that aside. Maybe it's not as bad as they thought. Then they end up with more profit. But they'll at least know that they're covered. But more than double than last year. So at that time, well, actually before that time, interest rates are going up. So they're making record profits on their interest income.
Okay.
They're making unbelievable amounts of record profits on interest income only because the Fed has raised rates. These loans cost more for the banks to make money. That redistribution of wealth is going back to the banks, which would at some point in time end up being central banks. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
But that's just reading the tea leaves. You don't have to be a psychic or have a crystal ball or read tarot cards or open up a fortune cookie to realize that the crash, the SHTF moment of corporate, commercial, real estate, business loans is about to hit. So companies like Amazon, they're cutting overhead, they're cutting costs, they're laying people off, they're shutting down facilities, and then now they're looking to invest in distressed properties at a huge discount.
So they can turn around and rent them out and make some money back.
And they will protect their money by doing this. They don't have to hide it. When you have nowhere to put it, to protect it, or the places you would put it are extremely risky, ultimately negating the whole reason for trying to protect it, you would then try to hide it. But crypto's not easy to hide. Especially large amounts of it. Do you know why I know this?
Why?
Because reports come in that through doing people's taxes and also going through divorce proceedings, they uncover all the money that was put into crypto.
Oh.
Decentralized, yeah.
Yeah.
What they say. But we're at a time now where, as a result of the financial hardships and irreconcilable differences because of the economy, because of the recession, because of FUD, fear, uncertainty, doubt, panic, anxiety, stress, job loss, inflation, global conflicts, social conflicts, divorce rates are going up. Divorce can be expensive. Not just for the parties involved in divvying up, but just the legal fees.
Oh yeah, legal fees I'm sure are ridiculous.
So potentially we're going to see people suffering the impacts of the economy, the recession, the job loss, all those things I mentioned just a few minutes ago, on top of mental and emotional breakdowns and hardship and setbacks, mental health crisis as households are broken up. And then further wiped out paying legal fees to attorneys to separate.
But then there's also those people out there who won't pay the attorney fees to separate. They'll just stay together to keep the money, and then they just get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And it's like, what's more important, your sanity or your money?
Good question. I would imagine domestic violence,
Upticks.
perhaps.
Yeah.
Which leads me back to where we started of making a big mistake. And growing up, making many bad choices. And all those bad choices have led me to where I am today. And I'm very grateful for that. Now I know at this point in the video, 28 minutes in or however many minutes in, people are like, what the? I thought y'all were getting a divorce.
No,
Sorry.
that's not an option. Not an option. I think a lot of people would be able to, I can say this, but I don't know if it's really true for everybody, but I think a lot of people, as you are married longer and longer, your level of communication should get better. For some, it gets worse, but it should get better. And you should be more open to talking about things that maybe you don't want to talk about, or you're worried about talking about, or you're insecure about talking about. But if you can't talk about those things with your spouse, then you do have the wrong spouse, I think. But as I was saying, as you get
But it's not
farther
just
along,
like
I think it's easier.
being able to talk about it. Maybe they don't want to hear about it.
Yeah, that too. So that's the other thing. You have to be on the same page with each other on what's important. And if one of you finds something like communication important and the other one doesn't, there does definitely come in
Is he licking your feet?
issue. No, he's not touching me.
Oh.
He's just sitting there.
But one of the big mistakes that, depending on who you ask, is a mistake. It's like, oh, you quit your job. You quit your corporate job. Okay, but I'm still here now. You sold your house, 6 acres. Here. You started a YouTube channel. Here. Many, many big mistakes. My long list of cars.
What makes them mistakes?
Buying them and selling them.
Why is that a mistake?
Depending on which vehicle it was, people would say, you shouldn't have bought that.
Well, depending on which one, you shouldn't have sold that.
There's no way I would pay that much money for a car.
Well, here's the thing. That's those people. This is you. It will be different for every single person out there. I'd rather have mistakes that I enjoyed along the way, like the buying of the cars, than not.
Well, the interesting thing about that is making those mistakes, which is big quotation mark
Yeah.
here, allowed me to really, really like the car that I have now.
Because you've had a little bit of everything else, and you know what you liked about all of them and what you disliked about all of them, and it kind of gives you. That's the same thing with dating. I mean, that's why most people date before they get married, or date multiple people before they get married. That way, you know what you do like and don't like before you've settled down for life with somebody.
I mean, it really is an 80-20. But having been through all the vehicles, all the mistakes, however you want to look at it, to the point at which you are, at least I am today, it's like I figured out all the things I don't want. And all the things I do want because of the things I don't want. But also, there's still that 20% of things that you're not necessarily super satisfied with. Like, I wish the Macan GTS was lower. I wish it was a manual. I wish it was louder. But the other 80%,
You'd only wish it was a manual if it could be better than the PDK.
True.
And that PDK is baller.
I wouldn't wish it was a manual with extremely crazy long gear ratios like they like to do.
Oh, yeah, that second gear that never ends. And you wouldn't wish it was a manual if you were still in Atlanta, stuck in all that traffic that lasts for hours and hours and you move inches at a time. So,
And that's also why we are in an apartment, because we don't want to make a big mistake on the fourth house that we would buy. And we haven't made any mistakes on any of the houses.
I've loved all our houses. They've all served their purpose. What we have realized, though, is that the first one was the smallest, then the second one was bigger, then the last one was massive, and we need to go back to the size of the first one. We don't need what we had on the last one. That was too much.
Well, we knew that buying the third one.
Yeah,
But-
we knew it was more house than we needed.
It was like,
But we wanted
we didn't
that
want
land.
an HOA. We wanted acreage. We wanted to have the ability to have a big garage, a detached garage. And with the options that were available, it came with
That
8,000
house.
square feet
Because of the finished basement.
and the space above the garage.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It was ridiculous.
But it gave us a yard to run around in, the dog to run around in, gave us a lake to go down to if we wanted to go fish and all these other things. So it was cool.
Yeah.
It
So
was worth it. Not a mistake.
depends on who you ask, depends on how you describe it, depends
Yeah.
on, your perspective.
Well, we bought it at the low end of the market and we sold it at the high end. So I can't see a mistake on either one of those parts. And getting rid of it now to be here, I don't see an issue there either. Like, I love it here. It's great. So you would think leaving a house for an apartment on purpose, you would have issues. I mean, do I wish there was a few hundred more square feet here? Sure. But am I unhappy with what we have? No.
Some people may view their recent real estate purchases as mistakes, as they bought at the top. They see the market fluctuating, potentially going down, fearing a crash, as many YouTube videos and news headlines would want you to believe, and have no intention of selling, but feel as though they made a mistake buying their dream home. But the market can shift. Peaks and valleys, ebb and flow, ups and downs. But I know for me, I can say that all the bad choices I made along this journey, I'm very happy that I made those bad choices so that I could end up where I am right now.
Agreed.